Tonight, first on Fox Toledo News at 10.
An early morning blaze ravages a city block. Flames spread from one house to the next. Are people able to get out in time? We'll take you there.
And take a look at this muddy mess. A construction worker finds himself in some big trouble. We'll tell you how it all ends.
Parents in this small Northwood development are on edge tonight. This after attempted child abductions in the area. I'm Ziemba. Coming up, we'll have the local reaction.
Then I tell you what, this weekend is looking warmer and warmer by the minute. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jeff George. We're going to see how high these temperatures are going to fly. Coming up, StormTracker Weather.
Plus, the Storm playing a crucial game tonight against Peoria. We got highlights. I'm Brad Fanning. Also in hardcore sports, we'll show you if the Rockets are still alive and going to be playing for a MAC championship.
And look at this. Protesters take to the streets of the Glass City. They say it's to protect their way of life.
All that and much more is coming your way first on Fox Toledo News at 10.
Fox Toledo News at 10 begins right now.
Kids outside enjoying warmer weather for the first time in a while. But look, not too far away, the watchful eye of their parents.
It's a nightmare. It's an awful nightmare.
That following a number of abduction attempts.
I thought I was going to be stolen.
Well, it's a terrifying situation for Northwood parents and kids tonight after 2 attempted abductions.
Both happened in a small development near the Woodville Mall, and parents tonight are now fearing the worst. This story is first on Fox Toledo News this evening. Our Ziemba is live at the news desk with the latest. Autumn.
Joy, parents we've talked to out in Northwood today tell us it's such an eerie feeling, especially after hearing so much recently about the Elizabeth Smart case. Well, tonight, the word abduction is truly hitting home in Northwood.
I thought I was going to be stolen.
What'd you do?
I just started running home.
9-year-old James Radcliffe is a very lucky boy today, but he's still nervous to play outside with very good reason.
A guy tried picking me up.
What did he say?
He didn't say anything. He just motioned to me come over to his car.
He came in the back door crying and very upset and told me that a man had just tried to get him to come into his car.
And even though her son is safe at home, Carol Schultz is still haunted by what could have happened. What was going through your head?
Oh, just sheer terror and panic, and oh my gosh, I can't believe this is what happened to my son.
And not once, but twice in this small development. Another boy was approached by a man in a car in late February. Now neighborhood parents won't let their kids out of their sight.
Now as a parent, you got to worry about your kids even being in the front yard because they could be there one minute and gone the next.
We moved out here for the kids to be safer, and then it all moves out here with us.
Tonight, Carol is just grateful her son ran before becoming the next statistic.
We're very lucky that my son was smart and did the right thing. Mm-hmm. I can't believe that someone, is out there doing this.
And that man tonight is described by Northwood Police as having dark hair and a beard or mustache. He's been spotted in both a gray and a red colored car, possibly with 2 women. We should also tell you that Oregon police reported a similar incident also last Thursday, just an hour after the Northwood incident. It's not known if those are related, but if you have any information, call Northwood Police at 691-5053. Live tonight at the news desk, Ziemba, Fox Toledo News.
Some folks here in Toledo take to the streets hoping that you just say no to Walmart.
Walmart, cheap, cheap. Walmart, cheap, cheap.
Sound like little birds, don't they? The protesters line the streets of downtown with signs telling people about what they say are unfair business practices on the part of the retail giant. They cite low pay and pricey benefits as a huge problem.
But if they're going to come into this community and destroy people's standard of living, we don't want to see them here. It's just that simple. We want people not to reach in their back pocket and finance Walmart's destruction of a community.
Now, Walmart says that they're used to these kinds of tactics, but they are still planning on opening 3 new stores in the area, including this one that you see right there in Oregon. New details tonight on the Nigerian brothers accused of slitting a dog's throat with a machete last year. The Oshoden brothers pled no contest and were found guilty of animal cruelty. This just one day before their trial was set to begin. Both men had claimed slaughtering the dog was a religious ritual. They're expected to be sentenced in late April.
Also, new details tonight on the son of a former politician here in Toledo who had a run-in with cops a few months ago. Dennis Eisenberg received a 90-day suspended jail sentence and 3 years probation for roughing up cops in his Sylvania Township home last October. The struggle broke out over a gun police say Eisenberg was reaching for while they were trying to calm him down.
Former Mayor Cardi Finkbeiner took the stand today in a bribery trial. It centers around a local real estate empire that collapsed. Now the big question, did Finkbeiner have any knowledge of what was happening? Edwin Burkmark's been charged with forgery, bribery, and passing bad checks. If convicted, he could be spending his retirement in prison.
In the latest from Target Iraq, President Bush is giving a last-ditch effort to win UN Security Council support for disarming Iraq. Bush and the leaders of Britain and Spain have planned an emergency summit this weekend. Fox News reporter Wendell Golder has the latest.
His aides cast the Azores summit as a reflection of the president's commitment to go the last mile for diplomacy. But officials say privately he and Spain's Prime Minister Aznar and British Prime Minister Tony Blair will decide Sunday whether diplomacy has failed.
This is important to our friends and our allies, and if it's important to our friends and our allies, it's important to President Bush.
Officials say there will be no attempt Sunday to come up with a new UN resolution. The Sunday summit will isolate the three leaders in the Azores off the Portuguese coast and away from the anti-war demonstrations the talks would likely attract were they to be held on the mainland. The leaders decided against inviting French President Jacques Chirac, now considered the main impediment to a new UN resolution.
This is a meeting for those who are standing by Resolution 1441.
Officials say Chirac wouldn't vote today for the resolution he supported last fall. And the undecided council members, officials say, continue to make clear they're unlikely to authorize military action under any circumstance.
We continue making every effort possible to avoid war in accordance with our principles, to strengthen peace, and in full accordance with international law.
Their aides say the leaders will return from the Azores with either a new plan for the Security Council or a decision not to push for a vote. In either case, they'll return ready to defend war in Iraq with no new UN resolution. At the White House, Wendell Golder, Fox Toledo News.
Now, the summit announcement wasn't the only diplomatic news out of the White House today. President Bush also announced he'll release a long-awaited peace plan for the Mideast. That's if the Prime Minister post the Palestinians are creating meets U.S. approval.
And to recap the latest in Target Iraq, here's a look at the Fox Toledo Fact File. Today, the White House announced an emergency summit between the U.S., Britain, and Spain. That's going to be held on Sunday. French President Jacques Chirac was not invited to that summit since he's been seen as the main obstacle in getting UN approval of military action against Iraq. And the U.S. will not be coming up with a new resolution at the summit. The plan is to come up with a final way to convince the United Nations or decide to not push for the vote on the resolution.
And keep it on Fox Toledo News for the latest on Target Iraq. Using the worldwide resources of Fox News and CNN, we'll keep you posted on the latest developments every night, 1st at 10. Plus, we'll break in whenever necessary throughout the day with breaking news you need to know. Target Iraq continuing coverage right here first on Fox Toledo News at 10. Well, in support of all the soldiers overseas, a local woman spearheaded a massive military campaign of her own. It's called Operation Yellow Ribbon. Lisa Ann Geyer has been spending all week cutting yellow ribbons in half. She plans to keep one half here stateside.
The other half of my yellow ribbon is going to go to a soldier overseas. And on a card, it will have my name, city, and state. And that soldier will know that the other half of the ribbon that he or she has received, I am wearing in support of what they're doing.
Geyer says the ribbons aren't pro-war or anti-war, they simply represent support. Now, if you're interested in getting a yellow ribbon of your own, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address on your screen.
Shifting gears now, the Defiance County coroner has ruled on the death of a 10-year-old middle school student who died after having flu-like symptoms. Dr. Jim Preston says Victoria Towns died from bronchitis, a viral lung infection. He says a death related to bronchitis is very rare. In fact, it's the first that he's seen in his 22-year career. Victoria died in late January after having flu-like symptoms and a sore throat.
A heated debate's brewing here in Toledo, the debate being over building new schools and renovating others. Earlier, Toledo's superintendent took center stage to announce how the district plans to tackle the issue. Right now, nearly a dozen public meetings are planned for folks to offer their input.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most of us to have direct input on projects that will shape the course of our neighborhoods for generations to come, and we encourage everyone to participate.
The first meeting scheduled for March 19th. It'll be held at Rogers High School.
Bad news for drivers. The orange barrels are out, a true testament that spring's, well, just around the corner. And for folks who drive Airport Highway, you're going to be seeing a lot of those construction barrels. Work's expected to start this week along Airport Highway with lane closures planned. It will be slow going at times. Crews will be working to widen westbound lanes. Construction is expected to wrap up sometime in mid-November.
And it was a little chilly today, but overall temperatures were pretty easy to take. And speaking of easy, wait till you see these temperatures that we have coming at us this weekend. But first, let's look at tonight. Temperatures will be near the freezing marker, just below, under mostly clear skies. As we get the weekend kicked off, there will be a little nip in the air, but with plenty of sunshine. And speaking of this weekend, the temperatures will range anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees above the average. In other words, it's going to be nice and comfy. Your complete storm tracker weather forecast is coming up really soon.
And imagine minding your own business, doing your job, then before you know it, you're up to your neck in a sticky situation. Coming up, what happened to this guy to land him in the situation in the first place? You're getting your news, folks, first on Fox Toledo News at 10.
Toledo News continues in 1 minute. Live from 4 Seagate downtown, this is Fox Toledo News. At 10 it's news, at 11 it's history.
Well, even as Elizabeth Smart's family and friends are celebrating her safe return home, the man accused of her abduction appeared in court today. However, it was for a charge completely unrelated to the Smart case, believe it or not. Brian Mitchell remained in his Salt Lake City jail cell for a closed-circuit TV appearance before a judge in San Diego. Mitchell pleaded innocent to a charge of shoplifting from a supermarket there last September.
A bizarre accident today that leaves more questions than answers in its wake. That leads our look at the world in a minute. In Houston, Texas, look at this messy scene. A construction worker became trapped up to his chest in mud. He's stuck there for nearly 2 hours. Rescuers finally freed the man using life preservers. Still no word on exactly what went wrong. In New Jersey, a Black Hawk makes an emergency landing. The pilot put it down after a maintenance warning light came on. Now, the incident comes after 11 soldiers were killed after a Black Hawk crashed in New York. In Salem, Oregon, a house exploded from an apparent gas leak. 3 people are hurt. It could have been a lot worse, though. Utility workers saved the day. In Yonkers, New York, a row of houses burns to the ground. 2 people are killed. It took hours to battle this blaze and hundreds of firefighters. Right now, power is still knocked out to hundreds of customers. Tonight, many people have moved into a temporary shelter at a local junior high school, and that is your world in a minute. What things are looking up for NASA? Word tonight is the space shuttle could be back in orbit by this fall. The space agency is telling its engineers to be prepared to make necessary adjustments following recommendations made by the board investigating the Shuttle Columbia disaster. Right now, a team's being put together to tackle the task.
Coming up on Fox Toledo News at 10, wicked weather blows through this town, treating houses and planes like they were a child's toy. We're going to survey the damage.
And it's March Madness time, and the Ohio State Buckeyes are beating the odds and turning heads while doing it. Brad's got your highlights in First Sports.
Boy, it's going to be hard to complain about these temperatures that are coming at us this weekend. Details are on the way next in StormTracker Weather.
Wicked weather in Alaska. A powerful windstorm wreaks havoc in Anchorage. The storm damaged a lot of homes and quite a few businesses. Winds even forced the Anchorage International Airport to close. Nearly 24 small planes, like you see right there, were turned upside down because of the fierce winds. Its estimated winds got up to 90 miles an hour.
Now, Fox Toledo Storm Tracker Weather.
And it was kind of uncomfortably cold around the region this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at some lows. 20 degrees was the morning low here in Toledo, 19 for Detroit, 25 for South Bend, 28 for Indianapolis. As we push on off out towards the east, just a little bit cooler eastward, 22 for the capital city, 19 for Cleveland, but it was 11, almost in the single digits in the Erie area. Let's see what we had for highs today. Well, not too bad, bearable. I wouldn't say exactly balmy. It was 41 here in Toledo, 38 for Detroit, 52 for South Bend, 56 for Indianapolis, and 57 down in Cincy. And I tell you what, winds are going to be blowing from the south and southwest tomorrow. In other words, these mid to upper 50s are going to be packing their bags and moving their way here into northwest Ohio and southeastern Michigan. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other highs a little closer to home now. I want to point something out to you. Now down in Findlay, they saw temperatures nice and comfortable too. 45 degrees, 42 for Defiance, 43 for Hillsdale. As you push a little bit closer near the lake, you see some cooler temperatures. That's because there's still a lot of ice out there on the lake. Whenever the sun hits that ice, most of it gets reflected back up into outer space, so that doesn't help to really warm us up too much. Also, whatever energy is left over that gets absorbed by the ice goes into melting the ice. And that's a cooling process. It's like when you put ice cubes, in your root beer, your lemonade, or Kool-Aid or whatever. Well, that cools your drink. Well, it happens the same way out in the atmosphere. When the ice cools on the lake, it cools the air around it. That's why if you're about 5 to 10 degrees or 5 to 10 miles within the lake here, you can knock off about 5 to 10 degrees in the forecasted temperatures that I'm going to have here for you in the next 6 to 7 days. Here's what we have right now temperature-wise. It's 32 in Toledo, 30 for Monroe, and 39 for Findlay. Those winds are dead calm with a dew point of 30 degrees. Satellite and radar combination showing sunshine on top of sunshine today. Look at that. Yep, not a whole heck of a lot happening at all. High pressure reigns supreme right now. There it is right there. That's why we're not seeing a whole heck of a lot of action. Normally I would say, well, let's skip right past the SAT-RAD here because we're just wasting time. But as we take a look at the future vision, not a whole heck of a lot's going to happen here either. High pressure mostly be in control. Over the weekend, we're going to see lots of sunshine. It's going to be nice and balmy, pretty much just what the doctor ordered. We're going to thaw out pretty nicely as temperatures are going to be right around 60 or even just a little bit above for the most part. 29 degrees for your overnight low tonight under mostly clear skies, and 29 is actually above normal. It does seem kind of nippy though. Your high temperature tomorrow, 58 degrees, warmer and early spring fling, although some of the area like around Greater Toledo will be right around 58. A lot of locations further out may see temperatures right around 60, and we will be right around the 60-degree mark. We maybe even hit the mid-60s there on Sunday, and for St. Patty's Day, we're looking at temperatures still in the low 60s, mid-60s there on Tuesday. And the first day of spring does kick off next Thursday. We'll be right around 51 degrees and cooling down a little bit, 38 degrees for the morning low. It's still pretty warm for this time of year.
I've written down all those temperatures.
And we're holding you.
Yeah, we're going to hold you to them. That's what I'm going to do.
Or what?
Now, we discussed this last night,
Yeah.
Jeff. No.
It's not going to be pretty, I can guarantee you that.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot, you should have told me that before.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, coming up on Fox Toledo News, police chases never end well, but this one has a twist. You'll be amazed at who plowed down an elderly couple. That story's new at 10:30.
And sex for sale, believe it or not, it is a growing problem here in Toledo. Now some people are trying to stop it from becoming, of all things, a family business. We're going to explain when we come back. Stay with us.
More Fox Toledo News.
Sex and the city. Prostitution has become a big problem here in the Glass City, so much so that professionals from all walks of life came together this morning to address it.
We were interested in this topic because many of the children we see, 800 children came into the system last year. Many of their mothers are involved in prostitution, and we know the family fallout from a prostituting mother and how it affects the children, and we wanted to help educate other professionals and the community.
And get this, folks, it's believed that there are girls as young as 13 years old selling themselves here on the streets of Toledo.
Well, it's a big year for Ohio and its wildlife. It's been 100 years since the first national refuge was established, and now big plans are in the works to celebrate the centennial. Included are plans to build a new center families can visit here at the Ottawa National Wildlife Refuge.
And it's critical that we protect these marshes, for future generations. It has a vast diversity of wildlife, giving the children and the citizens of Ohio an opportunity to see, what was the rich wildlife heritage we have here in Ohio.
Now, if you missed today's groundbreaking, don't worry, there are events planned all year as part of the centennial celebration.
A star athlete at the University of Toledo was back in court this morning. Starting cornerback Brandon Heflin today entered a plea of no contest to charges of resisting arrest and assault. As a result of his plea, he was found guilty on both charges. All other charges were dropped. Heflin's been placed in a first-time offenders program. Now, you may remember it was earlier this year that Heflin was involved in a bar fight. It happened at the Top Shelf Bar on Burn Street. Right now, Heflin's still suspended from the team.
Time for First Sports.
Hey, the Bucks still alive in the Big Ten tourney after knocking off regular season champ Wisconsin today. That was Sean Connolly, third three-bomb of the first half right there, Bucks by 7. Then yesterday's hero in the second half right there is Brent Darby. The floater was good. A little more Connolly for you just for the heck of it, and the Buckeyes win. Final score in this game, 58-50, so now they're out of the semis to take on Michigan State. Well, college women's basketball, the MAC semis were today in Cleveland. Top-seeded Toledo Rockets took on number 4 Western Michigan. Now, the difference in this one, turnovers, as in the Rockets had way too many. To the gun we go for the highlights of this thing. Second half, here's one of those turnovers. UT's Teresa Colley threw it away. Lori Crispin picked it off. 13 second-half turnovers for UT, 22 for the game, and the fans weren't digging it. Western would cash in on those mistakes. That's Maria Jillian. Three-pointer was good. The Broncos took the lead, never looked back in this game. The Rockets down 3 with the just a few seconds on the clock. Had a couple of chances to tie it and force OT. Couldn't do it. They go down today. Final score of this game was 60-57. Hockey for you. Storm home against first place Peoria tonight. Picked this thing up in the first period. Good guys already up 2-0. When Nick Perillo added to it, the Storm on the power play when he scored, that made it 3-0 Toledo. Then how about this? They got numbers 2-on-0. Jeff Mitchell shoots and scores. That made it a 4-2 game. Toledo ends up winning this thing. Final score tonight was 5-3 over Peoria. Now, next half hour in Hardcore Sports, we'll have a full report from Cleveland from our Ryan Armani on that tough UT loss to Western Michigan. That's next half hour, so we'll see you then.
Coming up new at 10:30, a horrible end to a police chase in Detroit. We head to the Motor City for the details.
And next, find out why Daimler Chrysler is in the hot seat tonight. Could you be at risk along with your family? It's a story that you can't afford to miss. We're coming right back. Stay with us.
Fox Toledo's on the money now with business news. Daimler Chrysler's in the hot seat after faulty seatbelts mysteriously come unlatched during a car crash. The lawsuit claims 2 women would still be alive and 3 children unhurt had the seatbelts stayed buckled.
And we don't want to know other families go for where we go now.
This latest lawsuit is among a growing list of similar claims against Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles that have a so-called Generation 3 buckle on the seatbelts.
You are not going to want to go anywhere. We still have a lot more Fox Toledo news coming your way.
New at 10:30, video cameras help capture those special, unforgettable moments. Well, for kids on board this bus, it's a day they won't soon get out of their minds. We'll take you to the scene and tell you what went down.
And how far would you go to get a baby to stop crying? Well, we've got an unbelievable story that will shock and disturb you.
Then, would you consider yourself lucky if this uninvited guest showed up in your house? One family does. We'll tell you why.
Plus, Hollywood hunk Colin Farrell's crazy ways might be catching up to him. Find out what you get when you mix a little too much alcohol and a hot model.
Before we get to those stories, here's a look at tonight's top stories.
Parents in Northwood are keeping a close eye on their kids tonight. That's after 2 attempted abductions in the area. Both happened in a small development near the Woodville Mall. 9-year-old James Radcliffe was one of the boys approached. When a man motioned for James to come into his car, James ran. Now, if you have any information, go ahead and call police.
Well, hundreds took to the streets of downtown Toledo today. These protesters took aim at Walmart, a non-union company that's setting up shop here. In a strong union city like Toledo, company representatives say this sort of demonstration has become all too common. Walmart is planning on opening 3 new stores in the area, including one in Oregon.
President Bush has announced an emergency summit to be held Sunday on the Azores Islands. He and the leaders of Britain and Spain will meet to brainstorm a way to convince the United Nations to support a resolution okaying military action against Iraq. French President Jacques Chirac was not invited to the summit. He's considered to be the biggest obstacle to getting UN approval.
Well, cops are just about the only people, aside from firefighters and ambulance drivers, whose job permits them to speed through red lights without suffering the consequences. But some police officers did just that and accidentally plowed down an elderly couple at a Detroit intersection. New at 10:30, Fox News reporter Robin Schwartz talks with witnesses to find out what they saw.
Detroit police take measurements at the scene of the fatal crash involving 2 of their own. 84-year-old Albert Sloan and his 60-year-old wife Lily Mae died when a patrol car slammed into their red Honda at St. Aubin and Lafayette.
It was crazy. It was real crazy because seeing the impact of that and seeing, someone being spent around and thrown, side to side, that's not a good sight.
After reviewing the video from the police car's dashboard camera, investigators say the tape shows the officers did not have their lights and sirens on and ran a red light, causing the accident. The 2 officers involved from the 7th Precinct were treated and released and are now on administrative duty. Still, some officers are questioning why Detroit police are investigating their own accident. Take this recent fatal crash involving a Dearborn patrol car. State police were called in, which is that department's standard procedure.
I love Detroit, I love the city of Detroit, but they have to clean the system up. It needs to be cleaned up, starting with the Detroit Police Department.
That's what witnesses at the scene are saying about how they feel the investigation is being handled. Police Chief Jerry Oliver was not available for comment, but you can be sure he's taking a close look at the situation.
We'll be keeping a close eye on the investigation for you and bring you any new updates once more information is available.
Back here at home, some party goers are feeling the luck of the Irish a little early. All day, folks were partying in downtown Toledo at Clear Channel's 5th annual Rock the Block St. Patrick's Day party. Anything that could be green was turned green. Very exciting day out there.
Showing Toledo loves St. Patrick's Day, so it's usually a very successful event.
Well, the best part of the party is that it helps to raise a lot of real green stuff for local charities. And get this, folks, you feel like partying right now? After the news, wait till the news is over, head on down there because that party is going to be going on till 1 a.m. Have fun.
Coming up on Fox Toledo News, take a look at this frightening scene. A school trip goes terribly wrong and the whole thing is caught on tape. Did everyone get out in time?
And you won't believe what a flight attendant did to shut up a crying baby aboard an airplane. It's a shocking story that you won't believe. We're back in 2. Well, look at this. A trip to a band competition turns dangerous for some high school students as fire breaks out on board their bus. The whole thing caught on tape. Well, topping our look around the region tonight, a high school band was passing through Illinois today on its way to a national competition in Florida.
But then a fire derailed those plans. Take a look. The school's charter bus pulled over because someone noticed smoke. Students who were joking quickly turned serious once they realized their bus was actually on fire. Fortunately, everyone got off the bus in time and no one was hurt.
I opened the window, my friend here got out, and he got down to the bottom, and I started handing girls down, handing guys down, just handing them down, get them off the bus, clear the back out, because there was a line of 30 people jamming out the front door.
Now, the band did lose its brand new instruments in the fire, but the band director says donations of instruments are already coming in.
And a sickening story out of Detroit tonight. A former flight attendant is accused of spiking a toddler's apple juice. Investigators say the Northwest Airlines worker tried to stop a child from crying during a flight, so he reportedly slipped a Xanax antidepressant tablet into the baby's juice. Now, luckily, the baby's mother noticed that the juice just didn't look right before more than a sip could be taken by the toddler. The former flight attendant is due to be arraigned Tuesday on assault and drug charges.
Coming up on Fox Toledo News, a new drug promises to revolutionize how doctors attack the AIDS virus. How does it work, though? We'll break it down for you.
And how would you like to wake up next to a stranger? Well, it happened to these folks, but they don't seem to mind. We're going to tell you why.
And now here's a live look from the Fox Toledo Skycam. We had some mild weather today, but what are we in store for this weekend? Jeff's up next with your weekend forecast. Well, talk about cool critters. Who needs a rabbit's foot when you got a python?
Oh,
confused? Then check this out. It turns out a 16-foot python has slithered into a private home in western Kenya. Residents there say it's a sign of luck. Neighbors now hope the lucky snake will also bring them lots of luck.
Yeah,
I don't see how.
That's some luck I can do without.
Are they really going to agree that was a cool critter? I don't think so.
It is cool.
It's kind of freaky.
Cold-blooded.
It's a long critter.
Yeah, long and freaky. Speaking of freaky, you need to pay attention to the travel cast here I have coming up, Jose. Watch. Satellite and radar combination right now. We don't have anything over us right now. We have nice clear skies. High pressure is in control. Remember, high pressure causes sinking air in the atmosphere. You need the air to rise to cause clouds or anything like that. With high pressure in command the whole weekend, pushing down and shoving down in the atmosphere, and not going to be much room for any clouds around here this weekend. So we are going to see lots and lots of sunshine. But the opposite is happening way down to the south. Let's go down to Florida right now. In the Panhandle, they've seen severe weather watches and warnings all throughout the evening. Tallahassee is getting slammed and spanked right now. And I'll tell you what, mostly all of Florida, to include the Panhandle and all the way down through the peninsula, even Miami, possibly some severe weather all day tomorrow, even into Sunday. I say severe weather because, Jose, you're flying to Miami tomorrow. Did I forget to tell you that? Yeah. Well, now you know. So a lot of severe weather down in the Sunshine State for tomorrow and Sunday, but most of the nation, the rest of the nation is pretty mild, partly cloudy. A little bit of rain there along the west coast. We'll let them deal with that. But temperature-wise tomorrow, look at this map here. You haven't seen a map this warm since what, like October, September, or something like that? 60s and 70s throughout most of the Midwest. Will be mostly here in the 50s and 60s in the Buckeye State. So let's go ahead and take a look at your travel cast for tomorrow. 49 for Erie. 59 for Pittsburgh, lots and lots of sunshine, mid-50s for Cleveland, Lima, the capital city, Cincinnati, all in the low to mid-60s, plenty of sunshine to go around, lots of blue skies also up in Milwaukee, Chicago, and South Bend, temperatures riding in the low 60s. As we get back here to Michigan, southeastern Michigan, Detroit, or most of southeastern Michigan in the mid-50s, a little bit cooler up that way, but mid to upper 50s in Fort Wayne and Toledo. Once again, sunshine all over the place. More details coming up in your Fastcast.
Coming up on Fox Toledo News at 10, a new drug is offering hope to people with AIDS. What's different about it? The answer is moments away.
And want to feel safer on the road? Some new technology could make that a reality. We'll explain how.
Fox Toledo is on call tonight with some important news for AIDS patients. A new drug just approved by the federal government is expected to help some patients who no longer benefit from drugs that they've used for years. The new medicine is called Fusion. It prevents the HIV virus from entering white blood cells. Now that's a major step forward. It's believed Fusion can help patients turn their infection into a more manageable chronic disease. And asthma sufferers, beware. The popular belief that thunderstorms actually clear the air may actually be wrong. New research indicates that rather than washing asthma-inducing pollens and pollutants from the air, thunderstorms can actually provoke asthma attacks. The study by Canadian scientists say the reason may be due to an increase in fungal spores circulated by turbulent winds associated with the storms.
Well, new technology might soon keep you off people's bumpers and away from the body shop. This latest automotive innovation takes Fox Toledo high tech tonight. Well, rear-end crashes account for more than a quarter of all collisions, or almost 2 million crashes a year. Now GM is testing what it calls forward collision warning. When a driver approaches a slower-moving car, the driver will hear a loud beeping tone and a visual warning will flash on the windshield. GM will soon conduct a 10-month study on various GM cars equipped with the system.
Coming up on Fox Toledo News at 10, Hollywood bad boy Colin Farrell might have to clean up his act. And it's all because he forgot a raincoat. We've got the steamy details.
And coming up next in Hardcore Sports, we'll take you to Cleveland for a full report on the Rockets' tough loss in the MAC semis. Plus, nasty collision tonight in Ann Arbor in BG's playoff game against Michigan. We got highlights of this one and much more when we come back.
Fox Toledo Hardcore Sports with Brad Fanning.
Well, pretty emotional night down at Anderson Arena tonight. Van Buren's season is now over with. Tonight's loss to Division IV regional final to Crestview. We'll have highlights of this game coming up in just a bit. But first to college hoops. Been telling you all week about the UT women being undefeated under Coach Mark Elin when they're the top seed in the MAC tournament. Now that all ended today, though, thanks to a ton of turnovers and a pretty darn good Western Michigan team. To Cleveland, we take you for the highlights of this thing. Head coach Mark Elin. Got to be pretty happy, though, with Karen Hugendam's performance. Best game of her career. 22 points, 14 boards. Rockets down 2, though. Turnovers brutal in this game, like I said. 13 in the second half, 22 for the game. Crystal Young threw that one away. And the fans saying, I don't want no more stinking turnovers, okay? Broncos did take care, or took it to the Rockets once they got the lead. Casey Roast, bucket right there. Western by 3. Then 60-57 Western, under 10 seconds to go. Mary Blessing's shot wouldn't go. They get one more crack at it with .6 on the clock. That won't fall either, and that's all she wrote. Rockets go down. Final score in this game, 60-57. Season could be over. For more on this game, here's our Ryan Armani.
Major reasons Toledo didn't get it done today. When they needed a basket, nothing would go down, and they didn't take care of the basketball, turning it over 22 times.
For a team that's led the league in fewest turnovers, we kind of went the other way tonight on that.
I don't think we were really forcing. We got good looks, and we just didn't knock them down. I mean, we had 27 offensive rebounds, but we just weren't able to put them back in.
We had 3 freshmen go a combined 1 for 11, and we kill ourselves with turnovers, and we lose by a basket.
Sad being my last game, maybe my last game, but, another step in my life, I guess.
This loss marks the first time UT has dropped a game to Western in the MAC tourney. Previous to today, they were 4-0 against the Broncos. For Hardcore Sports, I'm Ryan Armani.
All right, Ryan, thanks a lot. Now, the Rocket women still open for a bid to the NIT, so keep your fingers crossed. They deserve it. Now to the Big Ten men. Ohio State took on regular season champ Wisconsin in the quarterfinals today. Buckeyes won this tourney last year, and the defending champs playing like they're going to do it again. Check out the save by Brandon Foose-Cheatham. Sean Connolly with a finish right there, and the Buckeyes looking good. Third three-pointer of the half right there for Connolly. Big Bucks by 7. Then in the second half, Brent Darby, little floater in the lane. He was the hero in yesterday's big win. The Buckeyes go on to win this thing, move on to the semis, where they're going to take on Michigan State. Final score today was 58-50. High school March Madness down in BG tonight. A trip to the Division Final Four on the line between Crestview and Van Buren. That was Travis Owens taking it to the house. Then Levi Orbson got a bucket and a foul right there. Play of the game, though, coming from Travis Tagliapiatra. Nasty and beautiful all at the same time. That's good stuff, but Van Buren goes down tonight. Final score 62-45, so Crestview heading to state. Hockey now, Storm home taking on division-leading Peoria in the first of a crucial 2-game weekend series. It's crucial because Storm needs to take both these games to stay in the hunt for the division title. They were 2 points back of Peoria heading into tonight's game. 2 points back, 2 goals up though early. You can make it 3 on a Nick Perillo goal. 3-0 Toledo on top. Looked like it was going to be a blowout, but the Rivermen got within a goal when they score on a 4-on-3 power play. 3-2 Storm, second period, and you got to love this. Anderson to Mitchell. That proved to be the game winner. The Storm wins it tonight, 5-3, 9th straight home win. Also got them tied with Peoria for first place. And we're going to wrap things up tonight with college hockey playoffs. BG at Michigan tonight. Game 1 of the best of 3. Scott Pollock's team draws first blood. First period, Mike Falk scores for BG. Now his dad played at Michigan, so he was one proud papa tonight. Second period, we got a tie game at 1 apiece, and the Wolverines going to untie it when the captain, Jed Ortmeyer, beats Jordan Sigalet. Sigalet 37 saves in this game, but he couldn't stop that one. Then later on in the second big-time collision, look at that. Wow, nasty. Alex Rogacheski took out Al Montoya. Look at it in slow-mo. Knocked him cold because he hit the back of his head on the crossbar. But as you see, he's up. He's looking good. He's rubbing his head. He was good to go. Got back in the game. Unfortunately, though, BG gets beat tonight. Final score, 3-1 by Michigan.
That's going to leave a mark.
That is going to definitely leave a mark.
Hockey's so brutal.
I know. How about the tough guy? Got right up and played again.
Amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right.
All right, Brad. Thanks.
Thanks, Brad.
Well, speaking of tough guys, it looks like Colin Farrell will be trading in his bottles of beer for bottles of formula.
That's right. It seems like too much beer and a hot model are the perfect combination to make the wild Irish actor a papa. Colin Farrell goes from bad to dad as Fox Toledo takes center stage tonight. Farrell is telling interviewers he's, quote, over the moon with the news he's going to be a first-time father. The expectant mother is reportedly an American model. Now, Farrell has quite a reputation for heavy drinking and heavy womanizing, but he wouldn't be the first guy to settle down. No word yet on a due date.
Do you think the baby's going to have the same?
Certainly hope not.
Well, still to come on Fox Toledo News. Parents in Northwest Ohio town are clinging to their children tonight. That's after a rash of abduction attempts. Our Autumn Ziemba is on the scene with the story.
7 minutes of nonstop news, weather, and sports are coming up in 1 minute.
7 minutes of nonstop news, weather, and sports starts now with your Fastcast StormTracker Weather.
And there is a chill in the air tonight, currently downtown here at 4C Gate. 39 degrees, actually 33 degrees is the current temperature. 69% is the current relative humidity with a light south wind, only 5 miles per hour. And this will be the coldest night for quite some time. Let's go ahead and check out the satellite and radar combination. Not much to show you here, but we'll look at it anyways. Mostly clear skies, hardly a cloud in the sky anywhere. A little mass here moving over Lake Erie, but that is going in this direction here to the southeast, and that's not going to hit us. And we're going to wake up to some sunshine tomorrow morning. Temperatures tonight, here's what we're looking at: 29 for Toledo, 27 for Manchester, 28 for Wauseon, and 30 for Republic. Temperatures for tomorrow, oh man, look at this. This is a nice spring-like map. 59 for Republic, 58 for Toledo, 55 for Manchester, and 59 for Ottawa. If you like these temperatures, if you like this warmness, it's only going to get warmer over the weekend. Let's go ahead and check out that 7-day forecast coming at you right now. Put the ice scrapers away. You may need them for tomorrow morning. We will be below freezing throughout most of the area, but we do hit the mid-40s for low temperatures over the weekend and into the beginning of next week. 60s pretty much all the way from Sunday into Tuesday. We have some rain showers and thunderstorms expected on Tuesday and Wednesday. That is your StormTracker 7-day forecast.
Now, Fox Toledo Fastcast News.
Good evening, everyone. It's a terrifying situation for Northwood parents and kids after 2 near abductions.
Now, both happened in a small development near the Woodville Mall, and parents are now fearing the worst. Our Autumn Ziemba is live at the news desk tonight with more on this one. Autumn, what's going on?
Jose, parents we talked to in Northwood tell us it's such an eerie feeling, especially after hearing so much recently about the Elizabeth Smart case. Well, tonight, the word abduction is truly hitting home in the small town. Cliff is lucky to be safe and sound tonight, playing ball in his backyard. Just last week, James was approached by a man in a car who motioned for him to get in.
I thought I was going to be stolen.
What'd you do?
I just started running home.
What was going through your head?
Oh, just sheer terror and panic, and oh my gosh, I can't believe this is what happened to my son.
And to another boy in the same development just last month. Parents in the area are now too afraid to let their kids out of their sight. And that man tonight is described by Northwood police as having dark hair and a beard or mustache. He's been spotted in both a red and a gray car, possibly with 2 women. We should also note Oregon police reported a similar incident last Thursday as well, just an hour after the Northwood attempt. They're not sure if it's related, but if you have any information, call Northwood Police. 691-5053 is the number. Live at the news desk tonight, Autumn Ziemba, Fox Toledo News.
Well, today some folks here in Toledo took to the streets hoping you just say no to Walmart.
Walmart! Cheap, cheap! Walmart! Cheap!
Protesters lined the streets of downtown Toledo with signs telling people about what they say are unfair business practices on the part of the retail giant. They cite low pay and pricey benefits as huge problems.
But if they're going to come into this community and destroy people's standard of living, we don't want to see them here. It's just that simple. We want people not to reach in their back pocket and finance Walmart's destruction of a community.
Walmart says they're used to these tactics, adding they're still planning on opening 3 new stores here, including this one in Oregon.
Tonight, new details on the two Nigerian brothers accused of slitting a dog's throat with a machete last year. The Oshodin brothers pled no contest and were found guilty of animal cruelty. This just one day before their trial was set to begin. Both men had claimed slaughtering the dog was a religious ritual. They're expected to be sentenced in April.
Also, new details on the son of a former politician here in Toledo who had a run-in with cops a few months ago. Dennis Eisenberg received a 90-day suspended jail sentence and 3 years probation for roughing up cops at his Sylvania Township home last October. The struggle broke out over a gun police say Eisenberg was reaching for while they were trying to calm him down.
Now, the Hardcore Sports Fastcast.
Storm in Peoria tonight over at the Sports Arena. Nick Perillo's going to shoot and score, and that made it a 3-0. On their way to a blowout, but Peoria decided to show up, make this thing a game. Gets back in it. They're up. Storm's up 3-2 when on a 2-on-none. That's Jeff Mitchell shooting and scoring. That made it a 4-2 game. Storm wins tonight by the count of 5-3. College basketball, Toledo Rocket women got beat in the MAC tournament semifinals today by Western Michigan. Their season's over for one simple reason: turnovers. To the gun arena we go. Let's take a look at the highlights of this thing. Here we go. That's Mary Blessing. Over to Teresa Colley, who threw it away. One of 22 turnovers in this game tonight. The fans weren't digging it, that is for sure. Now, Western did cash in on all those Toledo mistakes. Rockets up 37-36. Maria Jillian hitting the three. Broncos took the lead and kept it after that. The Rockets had a couple of chances down the stretch. Mary Blessing's three won't go, and the Rockets lose tonight. Final score in this game was 60-57. Their season is over. Maybe.
Maybe not. Maybe not. We might go to the NIT. I'm thinking a lot of things right now. I mean, 4 years, just reflecting on everything. I'm really proud of the team, and, we came a long way, and they got everybody back.
Certainly do. Now, like Teresa said, I mean, they could get something out of this deal, hoping for an NIT bid. Also, tomorrow, LeBron James playing in his regional final over at Savage Hall. That's a 3 o'clock start. We'll have a full report for you on Fox Toledo News. Joy and Jose.
All right, thank you, Brad, and happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
And that is Fox 22.
He wishes.
That is Fox Toledo News for tonight, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Seinfeld is up next.